It's cold.
So today we're going to be going over the #1 reason why people fail at their side hustle.
Get excited.
Okay, hey, it's Bo and Kelly. We have done this. This is 2 weeks
I think
full
you're midway
in a
through.
row. Yes, I'm midway through.
Halfway through.
So we've done like 14 days. And I'm just gonna be honest, I wanted to quit today. So you're following along this journey. It's not just about me putting out 30 videos of quality. You need to do this with me because I am now in the part where I want to quit.
Oh.
So I wanted to say, hey Kelly, why don't we just do a video of saying, hey, I don't want to do this. We're gonna go hang out with each other because we're tired and our kids are at our parents' house. So we're just gonna go hang out and we're gonna take a mulligan and not do this. And she encouraged me, no, don't do that. Second option is we're gonna talk about the #1 reason why people fail at their side hustle, because I wanted to fail and I wanted to quit. So this is the reason why. Okay, so if you don't know, we're keeping warm because it's cold out here. We're in the shade.
Chilly.
If you don't know, Kelly and I are 100% self-employed. We have been self-employed our entire marriage. There's a time where we both had jobs at the church that we weren't, but we were never fully. We were either one of us was self-employed and the other one had a job. But since 2015, we have been self-employed totally. So we know how to do this. We know how to pay for all of our bills and always kind of run our own schedule. And with our doTERRA business, we coach our team on how to start a new business. So what I wanted Kelly to talk about, I'm going to tell you the answer of it, and then you're going to give me the details.
I'm just standing here in the cold. I have no idea where this is going, so I'll follow the leader.
So, Kelly, I would say that the #1 reason why people do not succeed in their side hustle, so either with doTERRA or just a side hustle, is that they are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
No.
You just said yeah. So what is the #1? You just said it in the house.
I think you have your own ideas of why people fail, and it's not wrong. I just don't think there's just one. I think people are afraid to fail. I think they're afraid to take risks. I think they're afraid to take risks because they have, and they didn't plan for it. So when the bottom fell out, they had nothing to hold on to keep going. I think that people are also on the opposite end of it, like afraid for things to be really successful because it means your whole life has to change. If you're really good at your side hustle and it's something you're passionate about and you want to keep going after and you want it to grow and you envision other people joining along, whether it is a business like ours or it's a small business you create as a bakery and it's wildly successful and you can't keep up with orders, and then you think, I'm going to have to hire on more people and that means more overhead. The vision is usually too small and people quit because they can't keep up with the vision. So it's not just that you're afraid you're going to fail. Sometimes it's afraid you'll be wildly successful if you went as big as you could possibly imagine. And I think that keeps people playing small. So I think the #1 reason people fail at their side hustle is because they're playing small. Either they think they're not going to be successful at it, or they'll be too successful at it, or they just never even planned for it. I think we've talked to a lot of people about that in their houses. A lot of times people have gotten into this shed to house thing and then failed halfway through because they didn't prepare or plan for it, and then they're in over their heads. That's a big question you guys have for us is how do we make improvements on our house and spend money or spend money on the property? And the truth is everything that we've done has been measurable in the improvement so that if we had to sell, we wouldn't be an upside down. But that was planning. That wasn't just, staying still with it. I think anytime somebody wants to do something different, you have to be willing to live differently for that to be successful. And most people don't.
Okay. where does the why come in to play there?
I think whys are for hard
What
days.
is, and just to go fast, what is a why?
Yeah, whys are for hard days and whys are for growth. You must have a solid why to be able to communicate to people that they can be a part of something. You know, why do you homestead? Is it because your family's health was suffering before you lived here and now you have access to your own food that you recognize where it was sourced from and where it's going, and you believe in this movement of people being less dependent on pharmaceuticals and more dependent on their food sources, that they spend more money on their food than they do their meds because that's what it was intended to be. And only a few generations ago, that's how the United States was. People spent more money on their groceries than they did on their doctor bills.
Okay, so you say that people fail at their side hustle because of lack of planning, and that they are sort of afraid that if it actually works, that how that's going to change their life. Is that correct?
I think it's two ends of the spectrum. If you're somebody who's failed at a lot of things, then trying something new because you're just sure you're going to screw it up keeps you from ever doing it. If you're someone who's medium good at a lot of things and you like a lot of different things, then focusing your attention on one area and really scaling up the skill of that means you might have to involve a team, or it might change the time that you have to spend on the other things. So that can be really scary, being too successful.
That's whenever I thought about this, is not living a cautious life.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that, in our own life right now, of like, that's kind of, in order to get to this level of like wanting to do, and of course this is now whenever a tractor is going to come through our neighbor, so you're going to hear that, but
it's the music of the tractor in my mind right now.
But if you're in a comfortable spot in suburbia, if you are in an apartment, I mean, that you have less to risk in an apartment or something, but because you just want to get out. But if you have a mortgage on a suburban house, you have a full-time job, you have a lot to risk there, and so you're kind of afraid to fail with that. And if you want to do something big like this, then you have to risk failing. You have to not be cautious. You gotta take a risk, and also to know that the people that have been successful have failed so many times.
Well, what you see here is so much fun to see at the end of a house tour, like that huge pile of laundry, right? Because that's real life. What you don't see in everyone's highlight reel is the failure, is the hardship. And then what draws you into someone's Instagram or their vlog is when they say like, hey, here's our real money issue, or hey, here is the thousands of times my kid has struggled through reading and now they're finally reading a chapter book. Like, the failure is what makes people up. And I think anybody who's either owned a business or parented, like, you can't celebrate successes without working through failure. That's part of the game. Like, if you're too afraid for failure, then that's a soul issue to be worked out. And that's a thing that, like, to be freed from perfection. Like, you were never made to be perfect. There was only one perfect person ever. So if perfection is what keeps you from taking risks to walk out what you've been, like, this burden on your heart, and there's something that keeps you from walking that out, and it's a fear of failing because you have this perfection kind of cloud over you, that's something to just give to the Lord and let that break off, because that's not what you're made for at all. And I'm glad that, we're not afraid of failure. But I think you said not to be cautious, and that's not true. I think don't be unwise about it. Like the same thing we talked about. Don't get upside down on your house. Don't get upside down on your property. Don't get more animals than you can care for at the beginning, because you've got a lot of life to adjust if you're like us, coming from the suburbs to a homestead. It's absolutely take a risk. You've got this one life, so live it well. But be wise about it and get other people in on those decisions. Wise people who care about you and believe in what you are capable of.
This is why I want to get my wife on the camera, because it makes my life a lot easier. One take wonders. I love it. So thank you, babe. I know that you got it. You're jumping on a call, and thank you for coming outside, because our house is slightly
I do come outside. I
You
do
do.
come outside
You
even
do.
when it's cold.
Hey, if you want to know a little bit about side hustles, I'm going to be talking more about that tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned to the video tomorrow. And a lot of this stuff that we talk about is in our ebook, Get Off Your Tail and Homestead. We will see you tomorrow.
Those chatty chickens.
Chickens. Oh, I need to go check the eggs.